Okay. Um, I don't want to make this a political video, and I'm not going to get into the political aspect of this, other than the fact that I think the Democrats are screwed on this one because it's kind of serious, according to the government. But it's not so serious as I'll get into it because, as we know, this is something that the government does to the people every single day. So it's a bit ironic that there's this indictment out there and yada yada yada, but it underscores or highlights a very important aspect of your regular internet traffic that you should be aware of and you should think about, and perhaps even protect yourself from. So, uh, in reading through this, the Democrats hired some folks to quote unquote spy on the sitting president of the United States. Now, what is interesting is there's an aspect of that I wanted to talk about, which basically highlights a regular service that we all use from day to day. You probably don't even know you use it unless you're a tech person. Um, but it's a service that gets you around the internet. Okay, it's called DNS, and it's a very important service in the whole process of getting to the internet. But what's interesting is it explains and exposes how these people spied on the president. The government is alleging that these tech executives who were paid by the Clinton administration spied on the Trump administration, spied on their internet activity by looking at the DNS traffic. Okay, and so this is something that your service provider does. You know, when you're searching for stuff, you go, hey, take me to Google or take me here, or I want to go over to this URL. That process involves what's called DNS. And every time you make a query to DNS, that information, the fact that you queried, you're looking to go somewhere, um, is sent back and forth in plain text. Okay. And so what they're saying here is that because that was done at the White House, these tech executives were able to determine by going into the logs and seeing the internet traffic to DNS what the White House was doing on the internet, where they were going, what they were looking for, etc. And so, you know, apparently that's still a crime. You wouldn't know it, given the fact that these folks in our government tend to spy on you and me and the average citizen every single day, every single time we go and search on the internet, or we need to go somewhere on the internet. They know exactly where we're going, what our computers are asking to get to, and it's good to see. It's nice to see that this is still a crime in the United States. But maybe it's only if you're the president of the United States. If you're an average citizen, screw you. So I just found it interesting. I wanted to kind of talk about this real briefly. So there are services, and we offer one that encrypt this DNS traffic, and so you cannot snoop on this DNS traffic. Okay, it's called encrypted DNS or secure DNS. And the way that works is, let's say I'm at my computer and I want to go to, let's see what site we got here. I want to go to scribdb.com. That scribdb has to go to what's called an IP address. And I don't know off the top of my head what the IP address is. I wouldn't be able to type it in here, right? But I do know scribdb. I can remember that. So what DNS does, it says, oh, you want to go to scribdb? Let me look that up. Okay, that's this IP address, 124.767, blah, 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 right? And then it sends that back to your computer, and then your computer goes, oh, okay, let me go to 174.667. That's not a real IP address, um, but you get the point. So it's basically translating the name, so the domain name, to the IP address so that your computer knows how to get there. And so what encrypted DNS does is before that query leaves your network, it encrypts it. It has an encrypted connection to the DNS server that you're about to ask, hey, where do I go to scriptdb.com? Or where do I go to get to scriptdb.com? And that question goes over an encrypted channel, and the answer comes back over an encrypted channel. So no one can spy on you. They don't know. All they see is garble, right? So even if they're watching your network or your internet service, there's no way they can tell what domain names you're looking up. And so I highly recommend a service like this. We offer this service, or we are going to offer this service. It's coming out in the beginning of the second quarter, so in April. But there are plenty of them out there, and I highly recommend you go and you find one and you use it. It's called encrypted DNS or secure DNS. And I just think maybe if someone had recommended this to the Trump administration, the Clintons couldn't have seen what they were doing. God. Oh boy, this should get interesting. Anyway, I just thought I'd do a quick video to explain what was happening here. And I just found it interesting that that this just highlights the lack of privacy and security that your standard DNS service offers. And so please go find some encrypted DNS. If you have questions, put them in the comments below. I'll try to do my best to answer them and keep you posted. You can always sign up for our newsletter. We'll let you know when we launch this service. But yeah, there are a lot of good ones out there. Please consider using encrypted DNS. And then you won't have to worry about the FBI and John Durham or the Democrats trying to snoop on you. All right, have a good one. Take care.